So this kind of second half video to the fast lights LED conversion for 2021, 2022, possibly 23 Silverado HD tow mirrors. They currently don't make a side marker light, so this will be installing this computer chip, resistor. I'm not sure quite what they call it, but of course this is what tells it to turn amber or to turn white. So let's get into it. Sorry for my camera footage. This is only my sixth time at making a video. So what we're after here, I only have a 3-wire because I do not have a high country. This is a work truck edition, so I do not have the extra work spotlight. But if you do, you're after, of course, the clip that came off the light. You want to be real careful. The wires are thin to remove the electrical tape without splicing the jacket. And you can see that it actually goes up here further, and I like to take it further so you get more of a lead. So we'll just peel those two apart a little bit more. Get this electrical tape back just a bit more so we can have more to play with. Now, the module they give you has plenty of lead on it, so but you want to make sure that you've got enough to hook into these. Now you can solder them, use butt connectors. I choose to use heat shrink. I also call it shrink wrap for those that want to correct me all the time. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is cut them right in the middle. One at a time, as my battery's still hooked up. Don't want anything to arc out. Now we have that clip. I'm going to pause the video and start in my garage. I like to hook it to this first and then come out, and we'll go hook it to that. Okay, back in the garage. Now one thing you want to pay attention to is the in and out. The out is going to, of course, go to the mirror, which means out needs to be hooked to the plug. These leads were a little bit too long on the last one, so this is, up to you. I'm going to trim about 1.5 inches off both sides. And wires this thin. I don't like to use wire strippers on this. You can use a lighter, a little pencil torch. I just like to heat them up, pull it off. We do it this way, it will only pull the plastic off. If you're trying to trim wires this thin with wire cutters, you can easily cut the jacket and straight through the wire, which then you are now trimming your lead down more and more and more. So I like to give them a little twist. Of course, most people do. Set that aside. Now you really want to be careful on this one. You can see there's not much lead at all. And these little pin torches, you can probably steal one from the tweaker down the way, or you can order one on Amazon. I think it was a 2-pack for $10. You have to buy your own butane for them. They do come in handy for stripping this wire, heating up your shrink wrap, heat shrink. I love calling it shrink wrap. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do one, then I'll skip through. Of course, you just do the rest all by yourself now without a video. If you do have the spotlight or the work light, there's an extra green wire. You bypass this. This is only extending that wire to your clip so that you have the same amount of lead as this. So you would just, your green wire, cut it, hook it with the extension, just basically making the wire longer. Now, so this one is self-explanatory really. Black to black, blue to blue, and red to red. Make sure you're on the out. So I slide my heat shrink tube. I mean, it's about roughly 2 inches. I put it on the long portion. And then make sure you braid this. Don't just twist one over the other. Make sure it's braided. Both twisting, 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 twisting. And here what I do, instead of folding it this way, where it's real short, fold it back towards where it's longer. Push the heat shrink up. There you go. I'm gonna pause and repeat the process, then we'll go back outside to the truck. So now we're just gonna repeat the same process on the truck. It's a little harder with the torch because it's outside, but here in truck. Same color scheme on the truck. I know the red has a little blue line and the black has a little white line, but the red's mainly red. Now you can use butt connectors if you want. I think the heat shrink is a lot faster. Just make sure that you definitely don't get any bare wires and cross connections. And repeat. Okay, there we have it. Remember, coming out, going in, out to the mirror. Now I'm going to run electrical tape all around these wires to just protect them and put it back to the way factory had it. Okay, well that was me being done with the camera, looking at myself. So we have the light put back in the housing. This becomes the tricky part, putting this back on. I wish I had another hand for it. This is the one screw that you can put into the light that does not need to be removed again. So I like to put that in there to hold it in while trying to mount the rest. Okay, the mirror housing is set on the arm. I put this speed clamp here just to hold it and make sure it doesn't fall off. You can tell the pins are a little bit poked over that way. They were last time, also on the passenger side. All you want to do is just make sure you line up the pins in each hole. And I'm out to pause because I need both hands. Okay. Plug back in. Right here is that little pin to hold the wire. What I found with putting the other housing on is I just bring this down and tape it right there. It's a good spot for it to stay hidden. Now comes the tricky part. Make sure this wire goes through that hole, and this hole is where you pull your mirror defrost wires through. Getting those 2 pin bolts in the bottom through these can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. I'm going to need both hands for this. It takes a little time. Just be patient. Make sure that this fits and is clicked in correctly so everything seats properly. What I found to do the best is use a screwdriver. You get up in there and those bars that those round pins go in, to try to maneuver them. That's what make your mirror fold up and down. Just try to get the easy one first. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and work on the second one. Well, the second one is a little bit tricky. I kind of pull it out with this screwdriver and shove this pin in immediately as you kind of pop that one out so there's space. Just get that pin started and then drive them home nice and easy. Make sure you put some opposite pressure here on your mirror. Okay, both pins are in. I set this screw in there just to hold this while I was working on it. That screw will come out, and now we can put this one in and this screw in, and we can mount the motor. When I took the motor out, I put an arrow pointing up, so we'll go back in the same way. I start all these screws and then I kind of tighten them kind of like a wheel on your car, a little bit each one. I always like to use a screwdriver on plastic. A drill can be just fine as long as you turn the chuck down, you know, so you're not stripping anything out. So I'll go ahead and set those and we'll get back at it. Okay, it's now starting to rain on me. So, got the rear motor back in. That housing. Now this little trim piece likes to fall off while you're trying to mount the last piece, so to get it all in there. Put some painter's tape on it to hold it in place. I know there's certain companies where you can get this housing in chrome and different colors to match your truck. My truck, being a work truck, was white. But I went with an all white and black theme. You can see I've had the badging changed out to black. Added the American flag. Sometimes that's where the high country or the Z71 badging is. Just some other small mods. I'll go around in another video with the bullet, antenna, things like that. Okay, last 4 bolts. This needs to just make sure it's clipped on correctly. Start with the 2 at the bottom. I'll get those secure and then we'll go about putting the mirror back on and we'll be done. Okay, so snapping the mirror back on was a hassle for me on the other side. On the defrost wires here, one has a line on it, but I made sure that I marked mine with a B there and put a piece of blue tape on that one to make sure I didn't get them mixed up. I know my angles are bad, but you can see the little tabs that are on the motor. On the last mirror, I found it easier because they were all pushed up like this when they took the mirror off to start the car and use the buttons to adjust the mirror so that all 4 of those tabs are equally out. And I'm talking about the ones in here. And that helped me snap the mirror back on better. Okay, so there you have it. Fully back installed. You can see none of that cutting or anything can be seen from the outside. So that is fast headlights, switchback LED conversion kit. Well, it's getting a little dark, so let me see if I can give you guys a light show and let you see how it looks. Okay, these things are way brighter at nighttime, but you can see the white switchback. And as I jump inside, turn the turn signal on, you'll see now that they blink amber. I also have switchbacks in the front, all LEDs. You can see it's amber blinking. And we're back to the bright white. The show is good on the camera. I should definitely get it at night. You see the front there. Looks mean when it's all white. The LED hood light, I guess they call it, strip in there. Being a work truck, it also did not come with the fog lights. I installed those. You can get factory ones that fit perfect on Amazon for $95. Okay, YouTube, I hope that helps you out. Again, that is the Fast Light LED tow mirror conversion from Fast Headlights. I will get you a nighttime picture later. Have a good one. Bye.